Are we live? We're live. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. This is Twist Gaming, where you get to play board games with us. This is...
never does it.
No, he never does. This is our honest review section, where we like to talk about the game that we just played on our Spotlight session, and give you guys the insight on what we liked about the game, what we necessarily didn't care for, and anything that we would tweak if we were given the chance. So tonight we are talking about the Grimm Forest by Druid City Games. We just did the Spotlight section, so if you guys want to go and check that out, we did a really awesome playthrough with it. I didn't win. But
that's my favorite way.
Yeah, that's everyone's favorite way.
You are 0 for 2.
Yes.
This game was published by Druid City Games, but I think it is important also to mention that it was designed by Tim Eisner.
Exactly. And Tim did a fantastic job with this game. But first off, who are we? I'm Matt.
I'm Ann.
I'm Josh.
And I am Panda.
Sure.
AKA Nicole, AKA something.
You're always something. And again, we would like to point out that this stream and all streams this week are sponsored by the Grimm Forest and Druid City Games. So thank you guys for that as well. Go check out their Kickstarter and take a look at the game. But so now we're going to talk about the game itself. After just completing our playthrough, what we liked about the game, we're going to touch on first. And ladies first, Ann.
I won.
Winners first or ladies first?
What first?
Winners or ladies first?
Well, both.
Well, all of the above.
Okay. I just want to take like 2 seconds. Java was asking to find someone to paint as minis. And I don't know why Panda didn't do an exclamation point minis.
Ooh, I missed that. Sorry.
And broke it.
I don't know where Java is located, but
That
still.
is fantastic.
So I would like to stand behind my little podium to give
Can
my
we get a
speech.
soapbox for her to stand on? Can we buy a soapbox as a prop and just like pull it out every now and
Yeah, I
then?
can. I totally can.
I think it's a great idea. I
Thanks,
absolutely...
everyone. We really appreciate it.
You're so rude.
Should have let her start talking first when she got into it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ann.
I absolutely loved this game. I think it is, a lot of you know that one of the biggest points I have about games are how pretty they are. I know a lot of effort goes into building really great mechanics that are enjoyable by gamers, but I think...
Thanks, everyone. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, rock it well.
No one let Ann finish. Just keep describing.
I think the fact, it's my personal opinion that like board games are meant to be a lot of. Y'all are salty. Is that why you fill it up the salt meter?
Go ahead, Ann.
Fill it up the salt meter with your
The
salt.
meter's not on this stream.
Oh man.
Anyway.
Board games are. They're in the grand scheme of things, they're toys.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I enjoy playing with the components of a game. And I love that this game does have miniatures. That's not to say that there aren't card games out there that are very enjoyable and very pretty. But I think with a card game, you have to rely on making sure that you have really pretty art, which this game definitely does. Each of the cards with the different mechanics has unique art. Y'all just let me know when you're finished.
I feel like that's 100 points for that. 1 point per bit.
My bad.
The individual art is absolutely gorgeous on the front and the back of the cards. And when you're playing a game, it's one thing to have it's one thing to go over the mechanics and try and build your strategy and have fun mechanics to play with. It's another thing to like enjoy the pretty thing that's in your hand. The player mats right now that we have are just the prototype mats, but as you heard, if you listened to the playthrough video, if you listen to the playthrough video with James Hudson and Tim Eisner, they discussed that the play mats are going to each have also their own additional individual art based on one of the fairy tale themes. I liked how the friend cards, the mechanics of the friend cards, meshed very well with who the character was. That's important to me also in a board game, that things make sense. I want, if it's fantasy, I'm gonna divorce you. For those of you watching later on YouTube, That was my fiance.
Chat's currently off right now. So
Throwing
they're
one
not-
bit in a cup
No, it's not.
to
Oh, you
make a
turned chat back on?
noise.
A while ago.
Okay.
I like that things have to make sense. He's gonna sleep on the couch.
Oh, by the way, 50 plus 15 equals 65. Narflake gave us 100 bits, not 65 bits. I don't know where you got that math from, but so we still owe him 35 bits.
Okay, Joshua.
I'm gonna let you finish, but
That's kind of how I feel.
Go
right
ahead.
now.
Just mute it.
Alright, let's do this.
Y'all good?
We're good. Let's do this. This is professional.
the longest review ever.
All right, so Josh, how did you feel about the game?
I love this game.
Yeah.
It's fun, even though I lost.
I'm sorry, you what?
Even though I didn't even finish building my third house because I played stupid at the end.
Wait! You did finish your third house. You put straw icons on.
Someone
As
is
a-
super, super salty. Guys, this
And I
is
was
what
trying
happens when we do it live.
really hard to figure out. So we might have been able to do it if we both, if you went to the woods and I went to the wheat,
Yeah.
and we got a friend card that could screw.
Keep on living in what
That was
could
her-
have happened.
That was really like the only thing we could have done.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda,
Yeah.
Coulda. But,
But,
you didn't, and you
um,
lost.
I was so focused getting you, and I thought she was so far away from getting that last brick house. I didn't think about it till that last round, and then I realized, oh, I can't do anything about
Yeah.
this.
So Anne really did sneak up from behind and capture the victory on this game because it actually did swing around a lot, and that's actually what I like about the game. It swung around a lot, but it didn't feel chaotic. Like, it didn't feel like one turn all of a sudden, like, you were in first place and then you're in dead last and everything gets screwed over. And that's even with, I kind of had that, the taxation card, which
That's
is,
the only card that.
it really is the newt card. It's extreme
Besides
compared
you.
to everything else.
You are.
I would feel like that card would be better if it just nuked everyone. Just be like,
That'd be interesting.
I think it's a great card. I do think it's a little OP. I think that card is more OP than the Cinderella friend card. But I have to counter your point about the swings in the game because, like Josh, I thought I wasn't going to lose. I wasn't going to win either. When you were asking me, when we were talking on one turn about, hey, you should do this so that Josh can't finish. And then chat was kind of like, all right, you have two choices. Either you help Matt win, like you hinder Matt, or you hinder Josh to see which one of those two are going to win. I honestly thought, all right, at this point, I'm just going to lose. So let's have fun with it. And that's why I kept them throwing out all the wishing wells when I got them.
Yeah, but no, you had a really good card combination at the end, and you made use
Excellent.
of it very well. But yeah, you slow and steady wins the race. Like, you didn't do anything silly throughout the game. You just kept building your houses.
besides switching my card to furs and screwing herself by going to the
Well,
wall.
yeah, that was one thing. But yeah, I thought that Josh was gonna run away with it in the beginning, but there was a couple of things that
I had a
prevented that
really
from
slow
happening.
start.
You did.
But back to what I like about the game, the mechanics feel really balanced. It's like it's got a bunch of different components to it as well, which is what I really like. It's got the resource management, but it's also got the bluffing components to it. It's got the slight take that with the Fable cards, with where they just modify how everything goes, and
loves the leader goes in.
the friend cards too.
Yeah.
It just seems very well balanced, and it's pretty cool also because we got an early sneak peek at this game at Expedition Prototype Con, and we actually showed it off on stream from the con itself, and we were playing with concept art cards, where it was early on where like stuff was printed in like white text boxes and stuff like that, and it's
For a
kind of
couple of
cool.
cards,
A couple
yeah.
cards, but it's really cool to see this evolution of the game because we did have some finished components, like we had the player boards, but just to see the final artwork on the card now, it really is, like every little piece that is coming out for it is just the icing on the cake. There's a lot of icing on this
It
cake.
was the really big minis were really awesome too.
Yeah, they
Sadly,
were.
we won't have those. These are I think these are the size that they're coming.
Yeah, those are the production ones. We
I
actually
mean, they're
played with.
still amazing.
No, they were
Yeah, they're still
fantastic.
awesome.
We
They
played
were
with
like
oversized.
54
ones.
millimeters,
It
so
was
they're
kinda
like
cool.
this tall. They were like
I feel like I feel like that might be too big to play with. I like this size because it in like proportion to everything else.
Oh yeah, this size makes more sense, but it would have been really nice on stream to have.
I think
a
it was
bigger
more of like
range.
a display thing for James than actual.
Someone just asked, I didn't get to see the play. Did it play in 45 to 60 minutes? We play on stream. We play
slower.
So much.
We
We
play
explain the
a lot.
rules and then we
Interact
moving around
with
in
the
chat.
developers, interacting with chat. We chit chat a whole lot while we're playing.
Also, I think with our specific game, even if we did not have all of the things that make our gameplay go slower due to the stream, we did have a couple of turns that increased the length of the game. For example, I was able to play a card that took the top off of straw houses, and I'm pretty sure that Matt was one turn away from a win.
Yep.
And I played my card, and I kicked both of those guys back like
4 turns.
Yeah.
And then I also had the nuke card, which nuked resources twice.
Yeah.
For
But when we
everyone.
played at
Expedition Prototype Con.
Expedition Prototype Con, I think we played in about 45 minutes.
So
Maybe an hour.
yeah, you guys were pretty quick with it. So I would say that the stream from when we started to when you guys won was about an hour and 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we weren't streaming, it probably would have been an hour and 15. And if they had been familiar with the game, it probably would have been an hour, and that's on the longer end of the game because of the things that happened. So I definitely would have played in 45 minutes to an hour if they had been a little bit more familiar.
The way that we like to set up our stream in particular is that Josh and Matt both have very level of board game experience, but both have significantly more experience than I do, and it gives our viewers the opportunity to associate with one of our 3 levels. So because I have the least experience, I tend to ask a lot of questions, and I don't really understand a lot of the mechanics, so it slows things down inherently.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
with
it's
that,
literally
you picked
super-
up this game really fast.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had analysis paralysis for... I tend to always have analysis paralysis, and I had it a couple of times with this game because of just trying to figure out the mechanics for the first time. But like I said, I honestly thought I was going to lose. I just started putting cards down to see what would happen. And
apparently it worked for
I
you.
like how not one turn did none of us not put a Fable card down besides the first round.
Yeah.
So Anne, now that you're not being rudely interrupted, do you want to actually say what you thought about the game?
No, I absolutely loved it. Again, one of the things that I absolutely love in games is the artwork. And this goes on to things like the
You can't
components.
see those. They're on the table. You need to raise them.
Oh, jeez, Louise, rudely interrupted.
I'm just letting you know. You're like playing with these little things. I don't know if you're trying to show them off
Okay.
or you just want to play with them.
Are like the miniature components. Each of these characters is different. You've got your little dude with the lederhosen and the wheelbarrow.
You've got a thing for that lederhosen.
He's so cute. The other pig carrying the wood. You've got one for straw and one carrying the flower basket. And kind of what James and Tim were talking about at the end of the stream was each one of them represents a season or could represent a season of the year. So I thought that that was really neat. I mean, they're very well detailed, they're adorable, and that goes on to the houses as well. The houses aren't just the same house in different colors. They are
Unique.
unique houses, and they go to match the components of the house. So you've got the straw house,
Which is like a little straw hut.
little straw hut, and it comes apart.
You got your wood log cabin.
Your wood log cabin. Look, my little favorite was
The
like the
chimney
chimney
stack,
on the
yeah.
side. How cute is that? This one comes apart, and they're different. Like, it's not just 4 square houses of different colors. They're completely different.
And then the mighty brick house.
Still funny. And the mighty brick house with the chimney. And I mean, like, I could sit, even if, if you're playing a game with 4 people and they all have analysis paralysis and you gotta wait your turn, I would sit here and, like, build my own story with my... And I had the podium. That was great. I don't know why. This is a first player turn token.
Mm-hmm.
And it's ancillary, it's extra.
And it's awesome.
I had so much fun pretending that I was at a point. I felt so important. It's silly.
Here, you need a little gavel to bang on it, right?
It's silly, cute, adorable stuff, but it makes the game fun. Just the game itself, not whether I'm winning, not whether I'm losing.
The experience.
Absolutely.
It adds a richness and a depth to it. It really does. And it just makes it feel like a much higher quality game, because it is a higher quality game. And even still, like the cards, as James was saying on our Spotlight stream, oh god, what were the name of these? Location cards, thank you. And then the player mats, not only going to have unique art player mats that came out of stretch goals, but they're all going to be on super thick cardboard stock.
2mm.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, because he was saying that even that these tokens are about not these tokens, but these bonuses are on about 1 millimeter thick cardboard, so it's going to be twice as thick as that. So that's awfully hefty.
Yeah.
I did like, they talked about, I asked James and Tim, why did you guys want to go with the miniatures? They're definitely more expensive. They add a lot to the cost of the game. They're well worth it. I absolutely love them. But at the end of the day, to produce a game that has miniatures, it's much more expensive. And what I liked about James's answer was he said he wanted to make it an immersive experience. And as somebody who's a big fan of RPGs, I absolutely love that. I want to go and associate with my character, and I want to live in the world, and I want to feel like I'm accomplishing the task. And I definitely felt that with this game through good artwork, through nice miniatures. And again, that's not to say that there aren't card games that can accomplish the same kind of feeling, but I think that it's done very well through this format.
All right, Josh, is there anything else that you want to add about what you liked about the game?
I think I went over. I really wish we kind of did a 4-player game. I want to see that.
Yeah, that's one thing
still
I'm
want to
really
see that mechanic.
interested into, and the 2-player mechanic as well.
Yeah.
Because each of the 3-player options has a unique game style to it. I mean, not fully unique, but it's different, and that's very intriguing to me. That you have replayability just based on the number of players as well, like a different replayability.
So I didn't get to play, but I did still get to see the art. So I would like to say something.
Go for it.
I just want to echo that the art is amazing. Like
amazing.
The amount of time.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sorry.
Appreciate it. The amount of time that James and Tim must have spent designing this game, not just designing the game and the mechanics and the theme, but coming up with the concepts of like the 3 little pigs and the stackable housing and the sheer effort that went into the prototypes is unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
Like usually, you don't ever see a game like this with minis that are created
so developed in this stage of the process.
Yeah, because generally when you do manufacturing, I'm sure for production, James is going to use molds.
Oh no, yeah, they're injection.
Which makes it so unfeasible to do prototypes because you just don't have the funds for it yet. And that he went all out and made it such a beautiful game before it's even produced I just can't wait to see the level of quality when it's actual a physical production run game copy. It's going to be amazing.
Do you know what I'm super excited about? Knowing the community. After these minis come out,
the paint jobs,
when the painters get their hands on.
Oh my gosh!
I'm super excited to see the paint jobs that are done to the minis and how those turn out.
Someone's going to paint all the houses.
Paint all the houses different colors and stuff.
I want rainbow walls and a purple roof.
There you go.
With a pink floor.
Shag carpet.
Shag carpeting. All right, so yeah, I think we touched on everything about this game in terms of what we liked. What we disliked. This is very hard because I don't know. The one thing that I would maybe say would just be the friend swapping mechanic. I would say that if you were to receive a friend, like by building your second walls, if you can just elect to not do anything. If you had...
I like that random, because if you're in the lead,
it forces you to
do something.
I guess I see that. Because I was in a position at the end where I wound up having to get a new friend card, and I didn't want to change Josh's, I didn't want to change Anne's, and I didn't want to change mine. And it definitely affected the outcome of the game, but it's like such a minor gripe, it really is. But I see what you're saying, is that it adds another level of randomness to the game where it prevents someone from getting a stranglehold on the leaderboard.
I mean, you could have also pulled Cinderella or something and had a bad friend and been in the lead and just gave yourself that much better head start. I mean,
Right,
there's a
right.
downside to it. My only gripe, which is getting fixed, is I want more cards.
Yeah.
Like, we went through all the friends and we went through all the Fable cards. Like,
And there's more coming. They have a bunch in the stretch goals that they said. And
so sadly, I was hoping that our prototype had the stretch goals stuff in there, maybe. Because I know he was showing that off at Prototype Con a little bit. He didn't let us play with them, but he had
You can
cards.
see them, but you can't touch.
But it would have been fun to play with that. Just because when we played our game at Prototype Con, we didn't go through the decks. We got pretty much through them, but not.
Yeah, this was a much longer game.
It was a much longer game. We reshuffled the decks just because we did Taxation twice. We did the Big Bad Wolf. And we
kept also going to the same spots as each other, too.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Because you can't have all the wheat, straw.
The wheat.
The wheat.
Anne, what about you?
The only thing that I see.
She wants them all to be wearing. I'm going to screw up the word.
Lederhosen?
Yeah, that's the gripe. They're not all wearing.
Why are they all wearing lederhosen?
That's what we're going to get Aaron.
I can't remember which pig he reminds me of, but I picture this pig.
One with the leader.
From Shrek?
That's it! Yes! That's what he reminds
The little German boy pig?
Giggle,
That's
snore.
so appropriate though.
That's what he reminds me of. Tell me he doesn't.
You can't unsee it.
I was a little disappointed with the builder's bonus options.
Yeah.
When I was super excited to be the first one to get the that's a lot of giggle snorts to get the log house built, and I was super excited to see what that builder's bonus was. And I was a little, I mean, one of each resource is great and all, but like I've already built a house. What if I don't want to build another one of the same house? And 2 Fable cards goes by really fast. And what if I don't want to really switch out my friend card because I have a good friend card? So, but I don't know if I huffed beforehand because what if amping up that builder's bonus really unbalances the game?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Devil's advocate, that might accelerate whoever got the first house built to possibly slingshot them into getting the second house built. The first, the first of the other house. Yeah.
I think that maybe ramping up the quantity of Fable cards that you could have would be interesting because Josh had like 10 Fable cards in his hand, and it really doesn't. It didn't slingshot him up because you're still only limited by playing 1 Fable card.
So actually, now that you pointed out, I think it'd be kind of cool if there was like different bonuses, weighted
For
bonuses,
which ones?
because it's much faster to build the straw house than it is the wood house than it is the brick house. So I was thinking like maybe you would get a steeper bonus if you built the brick house first. Like maybe it's pick 1, pick 2, pick 3, or something like that. That might be too much, but
yeah, but you could cut off and do like one of each resource. You could do something like meh for the straw house. Like
Right.
yeah, it's still nice to have.
yeah, one of each resource is very nice.
But then something really cool for the brick house because it just takes so much effort in order to build a brick house, and I built 2.
Well, I mean, you're talking about 2, 4, 6, so you need 12 resources to get it. That takes you 4 turns of collection. On
It depends
the
if stuff is
brickyard.
building up on the brickyard.
Right, but that's 4 turns of accumulation.
So Anne, you mentioned that you built 2, and I know that you're not trying to toot your own horn, so I'm going to toot it for you.
Honk.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you guys would like to mention?
Oh man, it's like I want to find something else to poke at just to say something else, but
Yeah.
there's
It's frustrating because you don't want to be like, I love the game's
Yeah.
awesome, the
His
end.
body.
Because, then that's not being thorough. It's not being honest.
thorough.
Like, thorough, yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Do you know what I'm really looking forward to do with this game?
What?
Is stealing it from you guys, bringing it home, and playing it with the kids.
I don't know what you're talking about. It send us back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Joke's on you!
I wish I could build a rainbow house. That doesn't
Like
quite
I
work.
said, so the one thing about James putting so much effort into the prototypes is that unfortunately for us, we don't get to keep them and send them back, which is understandable.
Unless he wants to send us a finished copy.
One each.
Yes, exactly. I'll settle for one in total.
We'll play 9-player game. Or
Signed.
That'd be kind of fun. Yeah, signed. Send it to Tim. Have Tim sign it.
I was tentative to say, we're looking at a 5-player. I'm like, all right, I'll do a 10-player variant.
Yeah, right.
I'd be just doing okay as ever.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just a really solid game all the way around. I'm really happy to play this, and when we get our copy of this game, because if we don't get one for free, we will be buying one, I'm sure.
Well,
don't say that. Then they have no reason to.
Well, I'm being honest here. This
I'm
is
glad the
Honest
anyway.
review section.
yeah. Seriously, this is a game that I want to own.
I'm planning on backing anyway. I always like to back games that.
Yeah.
We have a copy of one of the other games that we've done a spotlight for, and I backed anyway because worst case scenario, I have 2 copies and I have an amazing giveaway.
I do want to point out something, maybe a little insider-y, but I do know that James put a lot of attention into what price point he decided to put the game at, and that even there were some last-minute changes just to make sure that the game was at the right price point. The game is $49 to back. It is not a $75 game. It's not a $100 game. It is...
You're getting a lot of stuff for 50 bucks.
For $50, you're getting so much. And again, I want to bring up the point that these miniatures are very expensive to produce. They're each uniquely designed. That's so cool. So the game is at an excellent price point and for the value that you're getting.
The really cool thing is that as stretch goals, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think that they cost more to add on. It seems like it's a free.
You just
it's
buy
now
the game.
part of the game.
Whatever's unlocked gets added to it retroactively.
And they're getting to a higher price point. Not everyone realizes that it still increases the cost significantly. So the fact that they're taking that and throwing it into the same price point, I think is amazing. And is extremely impressive for what they must already be spending to produce this game, because the quality is impeccable.
The one thing, it's not a great for me, I know it's a great for the community, is they feel this is overproduced. And I argue that, yes, this could have been done for as a $20 game. It could have totally possibly been done for a $20 game. A lot of games. Zombie Side could be done for a $20 game. You just put cardboard or a $40 game
you
or
get
something.
Pogs or something
Yeah,
like
you
that.
get any game you do it. It's
this goes
putting
back
these
to
pieces, the production value, the table presence, that it just makes it fun to play, and
it makes it stick out.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have noticed it if it didn't have that level.
There have been games that we've played, and I've mentioned in the honest review section, man, this is a really great game, but I would have never picked it off the shelf because I don't think the box is attractive.
I've heard you say that at least like twice this month.
and as Marty just said, this is the era of overproduction. Customers want it, and yeah,
it's
people.
what makes it's what makes it stick out. It gives.
Right.
Yeah, you say don't read a book by its cover, but you do, and there's something about the production that goes into it.
It allows it to stand out from the masses. That's what it is.
I mean, I think it's definitely that too, but in my perspective, it's. Well, if they put that much work into it, they really thought it through. They really cared about the game, and they probably put a lot more time into making it a good game.
Another thing, though, is that a big portion of this game was getting it set to be family friendly, and you were pointing this out as you like to fiddle with the individual. No, that's a very big part of it, and that
my kids are going to get bored if it's the 4 of my people in my family playing a game. My little one is going to get impatient and bored, and if it's not his turn yet, he needs something to do, and he's going, like me, because I'm an overgrown child, he's going to sit there and play and build with the houses and fiddle with his hands and have something to do. So yes, while it's pretty and it adds that value, like there's something else to be said about having these kinds of components. And 2, even when we get into card games, because I don't want to knock games that are just card games, because there are card games that just there's no reason to have.
Oh yeah, you don't
these
throw
components.
something in just to have them.
Right.
But if you're gonna have components.
If you have nice artwork on your cards and you're playing these cards fast, the cards are pretty detailed. Every time you look at it, it's something new. It doesn't mean that the card gets boring.
Okay, one gripe that I just thought of.
The blue and the I thought about
The
that.
colors, yes.
That's the only thing that I really have an issue with is the
I have
blue
an
and purple.
Orange and green are even hard for me. For my color, my level
For
of
your,
color.
your level of color.
Do
But
you want to stick it in the card cam?
for me, even,
Yeah.
I mean,
that's really
Now-
close.
Granted, we're playing on a purple tablecloth.
Yeah, so that's going to throw it off a little bit too. But I did that once or twice when you did the
When I
wishing well on
swapped your
Josh and I.
cards.
I'm just like, I don't know which one's which.
For the minis, it's fine because it's two completely different miniatures.
Right, they're unique.
And the shades are
miniatures.
different,
What do
The
you
shades
The
are-
shades of the colors are a little bit
That
different.
blue is totally different.
Oh, it's a much lighter
It's
blue.
much lighter blue, so it's easier
Yeah.
to see.
But the fact that they're unique miniatures, that
It would be
completely
nice.
is fine.
It would be nice to maybe see the border be different on each one of the gather cards.
Hmm.
That might be.
Or the theme of like, the Snow White has kind of like a Snow White theme or something.
That would be
really
so. If
pretty.
he's supposed to be winter, like some snow.
That'd be cool.
That would
That'd
be neat.
something actually to differentiate between them.
I mean, the border right now is very pretty. Don't get me wrong. It's nice and pretty but yeah, it would be nice to see a creative solution for people who are colorblind, especially because those gather cards are consistently being played face down
And swapped.
and swapped.
Not often, but it happens.
Yeah.
One other comment I just want to bring up, which I find amusing because people don't understand. They're like, oh, why is this company doing it through Kickstarter? They can just, sell the retail or whatever. They're not doing exclusive. Like,
You saw this in our chat?
no, this was I've
Okay.
seen online and stuff that I'm like, Druid, have you ever I want to go to this person. Like, have you ever heard of Druid City Games? Like,
They're a small company. He's just
they
doing
built
a fantastic
they built
job
one game before,
of getting the
See,
name
the
out.
funny
which
thing
is
Barnyard Roundup.
Barnard Roundup, which did okay. It was a successful Kickstarter. I don't remember how much it made.
it didn't blow it out of the water
It
like
did.
this one.
No, it
but-
didn't blow out of the water, but he made 20-30 on a little kid. It was a kid's game, and it did very well for a kid's game on Kickstarter. And like people don't understand. Like, I met Jane. Like, he doesn't have the money. Like, he put his heart and soul into everything, making this prototype look
It's
as
not like the existing board game companies that have the funds to back them up. But the funny, I think it's a double-edged sword because James does such a good job at marketing.
he looks bigger than he is.
I heard of Druid City Games before I met him. Like, so people might not realize,
Yeah.
he's only had one game before.
Well, and that fact that this game is so polished as well coming out, it doesn't look like a...
Yeah, it doesn't look like a
Kickstarters
first,
are there.
second, third attempt. It looks like a big, giant factory.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
Looks like something C-Mon will put out or something like that.
It
Yeah.
does.
Quality-wise.
So is there anything else that you guys want to touch on? TP, do you have any concerns about the game?
I mean, I feel like I can't speak to
Her
the...
concern is we have to send it back tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, that
yes.
That's my gripe. I mean, I will.
She didn't get to play.
I didn't get to play. I mean, I'm gonna back it.
Hey, you can play these two, and I'm gonna play these two, and we can be friends. Thank you. I got the calculator hosen.
We'll get an error one at least
Later hosen?
later, Hosen.
No, it's just the piggy because he
No,
reminds me of
we'll
the
get an error
jerk.
later. That's
I
so
can't say
fast.
later.
I can't.
Later.
Later, Hosen.
All right.
Specifically?
So,
Who's the guy from Ariel?
All right.
Oh, you want to sing it for us again?
okay.
On Jack.
So, thank you everyone for joining us. This was our honest review section of the Grimm Forest by Druid City Games. Check out our spotlight session where you can see us doing a playthrough of the game. We had a fantastic time doing it. We were joined by James and Tim, the publisher and the designer. Okay. So check that out. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.